Hello, boys, girls, ladies, gents, and all 56,000 genders that there are nowadays, and welcome to the second episode, chapter, and installment of the Chubby Mexican Podcast with your boy Homer here, the host of this goddamn godforsaken podcast. It's January 2nd, 2025, folks. Brand new year, brand new timeline, a brand new existence, and a brand new universe. Most people, most motherfuckers gotta understand that life doesn't wait around for you. And like Matthew Broderick in the fucking 80s would say, if you don't stop to look around every once in a while, it might leave you. I don't know if that's the real quote, but either way, I wanted to start off talking about the job market right now and how awful everything is. If you go through YouTube and you type in job market, you have a bunch of influencers and content creators creating content around the job market and how bad it is. And honestly, man, it is really bad. Let me tell you, as somebody with no college education, a college dropout, used to be a badge of honor back in the 2000s when, Kanye West was on top of the world. But nowadays, it really does pain you. But to be honestly with you, no, but to be honest with you, I think part of what's happening right now is that you have a pretty educated workforce, especially when you see millennials and Gen Z and all that shit. Like, I don't know. Like, I look at our generation and I realize that a lot of us went to college. A lot of us have degrees. A lot of us have PhDs, bro. And most, if not all of us, are also like easily a high school diploma. You can't say the same thing about Gen X or boomers who could literally drop out of middle school and work at a fucking oil rig for 10 years and buy a house. That's the thing. It's not just the job market, it's the cost of living is so ridiculous, man. And it's not just the United States, it's Australia, England, the whole UK, France. Like, the only places that I think aren't as affected by the economy or the economic collapse that globally is happening are countries like maybe Japan and Germany. But I mean, Japan has like a birth rate crisis, and so does South Korea. So I don't know. Every country has their bullshit. What's kind of nice is, as a Mexican with hopefully very soon dual citizenship, because I'm only a permanent resident here, but I'm close to citizenship. Hopefully nothing bad happens with that, with like Trump kind of coming into office. Pretty scary. But what's happening in Mexico right now with their first Jewish president, first female Jewish president, like, that's as liberal as it gets, ironically, from a country where it's perceived as a lot of machismo and a lot of, the patriarchy and all that shit, which is true. There is a lot of, at least culturally speaking, there is a lot of things that you can criticize about Mexican culture. But the thing that's interesting enough is, this diverse president. She's amazing. She's very educated. She was, I think, an educator at one point. I think she was a professor. And she's also like very much into science. And I don't know, man. She's almost the complete opposite of Donald Trump. Everything from gender to culture to education, like, it's such a fucking polar opposite from what Donald Trump is. And it's so ironic that Mexico's, so advanced in that sentiment. And I don't know, man. I'm kind of excited if Mexico does become a economic powerhouse soon, which I think they can. They definitely have the population and they have the work ethic. What they didn't have for a long time was a way to cleanse the corruption in a lot of government that was always solely tied to cartels and other sort of organized crime. But the interesting thing is, with the partnership of Chinese electric vehicles and, I don't know, with like Tesla and all these other like companies trying to invest in the country, it's pretty cool to see that you're starting to see a resurgence of like a reconquista, which is like, like a pay like people from Mexico that are living in other countries coming back to Mexico to open up businesses, use their education that they've acquired from other places to improve their country. I think that's awesome. What sucks here, I'm in California, I'm in San Francisco more specifically, and it's a fucking shithole here, dude. And I've lived here my whole life. I've lived here since 2002. So that's 23 years of living in this beautiful fucking city. But I've seen it like just spiral, dude. It like hit like a midlife crisis and just fucking spiraled out of control, spent money where it didn't need to, and I don't know. It started with Newsom, London Breed, like, Kamala Harris, like all these motherfuckers have ran through California like so badly, bro. It's so hard to trust Democrats, man. And it's interesting, right? Because Democrats are the type of people, like Democrats and Republicans, Democribs and Republicans are the same thing, man. They're the same side of the same. They're different sides of the same coin, you know. Yeah, they're like the same shit, bro. One will rob you at gunpoint, and the other one will rob you when you're sleeping. Basically, that's the way that I see Democribs and Republicans. You're still getting robbed. Like, your taxes are still not going to what they're supposed to be going to, right? No matter what political party you're in, it's fucking sucks, dude. Why do you think Bernie never made it, right? Like, Bernie never made it because he was too radical. Imagine being too radical for a liberal party. That's the crazy shit for me, bro. Like, I don't understand how they wanted to force Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris. Like, bro, first of all, what you need is like a fucking liberal like leader around. You need like a gay black lady. You need like the most extreme of liberals. But getting back a little bit to the job market, I'll talk about politics a little bit later. Getting back to the job market, man, I'm noticing an increment in ghost jobs, and it's pretty goddamn ridiculous. A lot of these jobs where you'll apply, you'll get a call, you might even do 2 or 3 interviews. Imagine that now, 2 or 3 interviews nowadays. And then for like a regular fucking like shift lead job, a managerial job at not even necessarily like a crazy industry. I'm not talking about like a project manager. I'm not talking about working for a firm. I'm not talking about these like more like white collar jobs. I'm talking about just regular service jobs. At this point, bro, you need to give your blood type to fucking McDonald's to you and get a call back. It's pretty bad, bro. It's everywhere. Like, Starbucks is gonna start taking like fucking fingerprints just for a fucking call. It's getting pretty fucking crazy here, man. Yeah, every industry in terms of service is definitely getting hit. There's just not that many people spending money, bro. There's also nobody's working, so nobody's spending money, so there's no fucking businesses that are open. So it's like this paradox of like fucking poverty, man. It fucking sucks. And I mean, who knows? Maybe Donald Trump and Elon Musk, Papa Trump and big boy Elon, Redditor Elon Musk, Reddit stand Elon Musk might do something, or they might fuck it up. That's the thing. The problem with like Donald Trump and Elon Musk is that in a lot of people's eyes, they were looked at as the will make a change candidate, right? Kamala Harris kind of just seemed like the continuation of what Joe Biden had completely fucked up, which kind of sucks because like she was fighting an uphill battle, and it's not her fault. I think she's just a token like everybody else. They just tokenized her whole image of being a dark-skinned woman, in politics. So I don't know, man. It fucking sucks, dude. Politics is just a pain in the ass. It just nothing ever changes, and then like the little power that you do have is really in local law. That's the thing. Nobody understands. Like, the change starts with state by state law, and once state by state law changes, the federal will like kick in eventually. Once there is an overall like positive view on a certain like bill or law or change to the Constitution, which is crazy to me that we still go off a 200+ year old Constitution. Is crazy. Anyway, I want to talk about what's coming up on the YouTube channel here. I've been doing a couple live streams. My Luigi and Mangione live stream's been doing pretty good. I want to give a special shout out to Crystal, JJ, and then Gates, who listened to the live stream while it was going and commented, kept me, from killing myself out of boredom and loneliness, which is pretty nice. Good on them, man. They could be future therapists. Who knows? In terms of my algorithm, what's happening right now, I feel like I'm starting to make a dent in the algorithm, just tiny bit. That's the thing. As long as like you stay in the pocket of rhythm in the algorithm, you'll be fine, man. People will find you if you're charismatic enough. You'll have a nice gravitational pull. The way that I look at it, man, is you gotta play it kind of like, I don't know. I just think Tinder prepared me for being attractive, so to speak, to like an online personality, because I think that's what Tinder was back when I used it. I used it back when I was in college, many a moons ago. many moons ago and many years ago, many summers ago, I used late Tinder, and I only used it a few times to get laid, and it was cool. But I knew, like, I just felt like a loser when I was using it, and I was right, bro. Like, people, like, it started getting more and more popular, and before I knew it, dating apps were the only way to get laid for a lot of people. And I mean, I don't hate it, bro. Game is game, and I don't judge anybody's hustle. Get you what you want. But I just feel like, wouldn't it be sad if you're on like your wedding night, and or like you, let's say you're at a wedding, or you're at your wedding and you give a wedding speech, and they're like, talk about how you met, and you're like, well, I swiped right or I swiped left. I don't even know anymore. We both swiped the same direction, and that's when I knew it was a match made in heaven. I'm like, I don't know, man. That's a pretty weird story to tell your kids. I mean, maybe it's romantic in the sense of like maybe in a few years from now that seemed as romantic, but to me, I'm like more romantic way to meet somebody would be like, oh, we were both working on a project together. Even coworkers is more romantic than meeting on a fucking dating app, dude. But I don't judge, bro. I have friends who are like in happy relationships, married and all that shit, and have a family off of fucking like Tinder and all that shit. So who the fuck am I? I mean, I'm single as fuck, single as a fucking Pringle, and I don't got no bitches, bro. I ain't got no roster, no bitches, nothing, bro. I don't even entertain women anymore. You know how bad down you gotta be to not even be entertainment for women? That's pretty fucking bad. I mean, that's not true, bro. My last job, I could have fucking smashed a few girls. But smashing women, you get that post-nut clarity, you almost want to kill yourself, dude. That shit, that shit'll have you so depressed, man. You're like, man, she's a hoe, and she knows that. And she knows. No, speaking of music, actually, I was thinking about talking about the whole Kendrick versus Andrew Schultz thing, even though it's pretty old now, even though it's maybe outdated or whatever. I feel like what happened with Kendrick and Andrew Schultz, in case nobody knows, Kendrick set a bar that could have been interpreted as any white comedian making cheesy jokes about black women. Andrew Schultz took it to the next level, said it was about him, and started making, you know, love making jokes about Kendrick. Let me just put it kindly, like that. Forced love making jokes. That's what he was saying, and it was pretty goddamn crazy. I don't know, man. That's not really my type of humor. Like, I understand it can be funny. It's funny in the sense of like, yeah, it would be funny if it was like Shaquille O'Neal saying that, but because it's Andrew Schultz and he's not that funny, it's hard to pull off. It's hard to pull off that kind of jokes. And I'm not saying he couldn't do it. I think he could have done it better. That's the thing. Andrew Schultz was funny for like a year when he got exposed to Joe Rogan, but after that, bro, after like Flagrant started going downhill, like that's when Andrew's like whole comedy career, it looks like he's at a standstill right now, and he's just cloud chasing. So ironic, because he said Kendrick was cloud chasing him, bro. I'm like, bro, nobody knows you, Andrew. Like, I can assure you, bro, nobody knows you. You're definitely not more well known than fucking Kendrick, bro. Kendrick is a household name, dude. I'm sorry. Drake, obviously, people know him more than they know you. Like, I don't know. Andrew Schultz thinks the thing is, like, comedy's different than music. You know what I mean? Music gets played. It's hard to measure music, how much people listen to music, because you could be like, oh well, people a certain number of streams and shit, but like that doesn't mean anything. Like, you could be streaming to a whole party, so you're playing one stream, but 30 people are listening. So it's different. It's different than comedy, bro. It's different than comedy. Comedy you can kind of tell by ticket price and all that shit. Not ticket price, like tickets sold. But anyway, I also want to talk about like the whole Drake thing with Drake suing Kendrick. It's kind of weird, like when you bring lawsuits into like being accused of something, it just doesn't make you look good. It just makes you look guilty. Same with Diddy, bro. Diddy, I don't know what's happening with Diddy. But No Diddy, instead of being, it's funny how No Homo has like evolved. It went from like No Homo to Pause to No Diddy. It's the same shit to like Fruity, Zesty. Like it all means the same thing. It's funny how we try to get away with saying the word gay, like and other words, but it means the same shit. So like, what the? It reminds me of that South Park episode where they called the Harley Riders FAGs, which is like British people call that cigarettes. So it's like, bro, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's funny how like gay people are like sometimes I feel like gay people and black people are the only ones that feel like their slurs are extreme. It's like, bro, I never once have I like really cried over someone calling me a beaner or a wetback. In fact, I laughed. I don't know. I think that shit's funny, but maybe I'm just fucked in the head. But it's I don't know. If I was black and somebody called me the N word, or I was gay and somebody called me FAG, like I wouldn't care, bro. That shit would like wouldn't like I don't know. Sticks. Nobody knew that. Like sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Shit. Come on, bro. Like that's basic, bro. That's grade one, bro. People gone soft though. I mean, that's been. I mean, that's a whole Dave Chappelle episode about people being soft nowadays. It's fucking stupid. I speaking of Dave Chappelle, bro. What the fuck happened to Dave Chappelle, man? A fall from grace, bro. I mean, honestly, when he came back and he did those Netflix specials, I thought half that shit was funny, and the other half was like him trying to show off that he was funny. I don't know. Kendrick is the same fucking way though. Like anything after Damn, Kendrick did not come back from Damn. Damn was the last amazing album that Kendrick Lamar had. Even his newest album, I'm not Andrew Schultz. I'm not on Andrew Schultz side because I don't really care. He's not that funny. Sometimes he's funny, and you know what he said about Kendrick was kind of funny. Some parts were funny. But what happened to Kendrick, man? Fuck, bro. Like, them motherfuckers falling from grace. Like, J. Cole, too, bro. J. Cole, the problem with J. Cole is J. Cole was making a comeback. You know, he was doing a lot of features and he was on top of the world. And then he fucking backed out from the fucking beef. And that's when I low-key lost respect for him. I lost respect for him, especially because, think about it this way. Kendrick said, I let Lil Wayne down and whacked out murals. And that's a reference to I Let Nas Down by J. Cole. He's making fun of J. Cole. Like, that's the thing. Like, Kendrick don't give a fuck, bro. Kendrick's like Tank right now. He wants all the smoke. It don't matter who's in front of him. And then fucking J. Cole's like Garcia, bro. Although Garcia never backs down. I don't know. Devin Haney? I don't know. Who's a fucking weak ass boxer? Anyway, you know, I do want to talk about like maybe me going back to school. You know, the beauty of online school. School is pretty cool. It might be fun to get a degree. Anyway, I am past my 15 minutes. I'm just gonna end it here. It's been a great time getting to talk to y'all and let y'all know what's happening in my life and what the hell I'm planning to do. You know, I have no fucking idea what I'm planning to do. 2025 brings. I feel like 2025 is going to be a good year. I'm just going to be uploading and uploading and uploading and uploading until, you know, people have no fucking choice but to hear my voice and see my face and pay my rent, you know? All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day, night, evening, afternoon, whatever time of day you're listening to this to. Peace.